Hey, Symposium listeners, have you ever listened to our A Song of Ice and Fire coverage and wanted to chime in live with your thoughts? Or wanted us to cover a property of your choice?
Introducing the Symposium Review Contest. The contest is open now and closes on August 31st, 2026.
Here's how you can enter. Leave us a 5-star review on any podcatcher and send us a screenshot to earn an entry. You can leave reviews on as many platforms as you want, and each screenshot counts as an entry.
If you want an extra incentive, every review you submit on or before April 30th, 2026 will be counted as 2 entries.
If you win, you get to pick one of the following 3 options.
Option 1, join us for an A Song of Ice and Fire wrap-up episode after we have read A Dance with Dragons.
Option 2, get us to watch or read or otherwise consume a piece of media to cover on the podcast.
Option 3 is the same as option 2, but you get to also be on the podcast episode with us.
We will have a minimum of 2 winners. One winner will be the person who earned the most entries, and a second winner will be chosen through random draw. If interest is high, a third winner may also be chosen.
So folks, get those reviews in on or before August 31st, 2026. We look forward to chatting with you in fall of 2026.
And now on to the episode. Welcome to A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Dance with Dragons, chapters 66 and 67, Tyrion and the Kingbreaker. In these chapters, Tyrion gives Brown Ben Plum many promises, and Barristan gives his Dar a strict talking to. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. So, Harmit, who died in these chapters?
Oh my god, Kate. There was sort of an average level importance death.
The
Hold on.
In whose chapter?
I don't know. But I remember being like, oh, I should remember this death.
You mean the one we were talking about right before we hit record, basically?
Who died? No.
The pit fighter? Oh my god.
Oh, Kraz! Oh, yeah. Him.
I was like, remember that name, and then la-di-la-di-la, we hit record, and all of a sudden you're like, did anybody die?
Hey, here's the thing. I switched out the fact that he died for his name.
Okay. And potentially the dog, Penny's dog.
Right. Yeah. Sad.
Not potentially, more than likely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and then I think one of the things I was remembering was when Tyrion lies and is like, all of our
I've
master
killed
guys
9 people with the crossbow. That one? No?
Not that one, because that one I was like, lie, but not quite. After he justified all the titles for his dad, I was like, wait, you ate. But when he lies to Penny and he's like, all the people we were with, sorry, yeah, all the people that we were with, all the treasures also died.
Well,
but then he lied about it.
Yeah.
But we didn't know it was a lie when he first said it. So I was like, you know.
Yeah, well, they might still be dead. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think that is everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the Brazen Beast also killed the other guard that was on duty.
Right.
He says something like, they would have subdued him by now or taken care of him by now, but it doesn't specify, and he doesn't go outside to look and find out, so.
Right.
Thoughts on these chapters.
These were fine, I think.
I mean, after the last couple chapters, it's really hard to live up to the intensity of those.
Totally. Tyrion also was just being really annoying. I did not like him during this chapter at all. So that kind of didn't help. And then Barristan, like, the chapter was fine, I think. I just kind of was like, can we get a move on? Like, we're getting to the end of this book. We only have so many chapters left to read, like, and they are just not, I just feel like things aren't moving as quick as I need them to at this point.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Why do you want them to be faster? What do you think should have
So I
happened?
can get through more plots before the end of the book and the end of the series. I'm not saying it's what would be best for the book. It's just, I'm just kind of like, hey, like, I'm just trying to get through more, like, timeline, if that makes sense, you know?
Okay, sure. I remember when you were like, I'm gonna come up with thoughts about what's gonna be every character's ending.
Yeah, and now we're like couple of chapters. Yeah, honestly, and then I listened back my things and I was like, this is as best of thoughts as I have currently.
So you have nothing to add?
No, what
did you have for Barristan and Tyrion? Because they're the two here.
I have no idea.
Oh my god. Okay, wait.
What did I say?
I think you were like, Tyrion is gonna, get the Second Sons on Daenerys' side. They're gonna slay.
Right.
And Barristan, did you say he was gonna?
I think I was like, he's gonna kill Hisdar, and then you rolled your eyes at me because he literally said, I'm not gonna kill him without there being proof, like something like that. Yeah, I just like, I think you know what it is. It's also just like a symptom of like, I feel like when we start, like, for the longest time while doing this podcast, it's like, I gotta wait 2 weeks before knowing what's gonna happen next. And, like, so there's a lot of time for my brain to, like, sort of passively think about it and to forget about it, and then I have to come back to these chapters and be like, what on earth is this book even about? But I feel like now that we're kind of recording so often, my brain is just kind of, like, still in the same place that it was, like, the few days ago I read it. So I'm struggling to think of, like, new fun things because it's just so soon, you know?
We are gonna have a little bit more time between this and the next recording. So, like, let your brain.
I will try. I hope that things come to me, but I was just kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I think what I said is all I got. Like,
okay,
yeah,
all right, you heard it here, folks.
You heard it here, folks. Harmit has no creativity.
Just no other additional thoughts. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So, summary?
Okay. I will try.
3, 2, 1, Tyrion.
Okay. He's signing away dragons and lands and stuff, basically, and then he's signing, and then he fights with Penny and lies to Penny, and Penny's mad at him because her animals are most likely dead, and she doesn't like this, and then they go find armor. Jorah looks better, yay, and then Jorah and him are like, hey, young Kai has lost, let's go on over to the other side. Tyrion's like, don't worry, I got that under control. I think that's everything that happens. They're trying to find armor.
Switch.
Barristan's thinking about the plan. Hisdar, he's gonna go basically, like, immobilize Hisdar, and then the other guy's gonna do his thing, but the Shave Pit and him are disagreeing on when they should do it, how they should do it, whatever. Kind of weird vibes going on. He goes and then does it, and then it's like, oh my god, the dragons are loose, and we don't even know if the guy fulfilled his side of the bargain. Like, we just have no idea what's going on, because Barristan was busy getting rid of Hisdar by getting rid of his pit fighter. Yeah.
Cool.
I totally forgot what happened in the first half of Barristan's chapter, but I think it was just, like, the plotting. Like, what are we gonna do? And then the second half was him doing it.
Fine.
Okay.
Let's jump right in. So Tyrion, the scene opens up, and he is signing away a whole bunch of things.
This was so funny.
Because they are only going to let him join and protect him if he promises them money and gold and lands and all that shit. And, like, all the sergeants get 100 golden dragons each, right? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the next level up gets, like, 500 or 1,000 or something.
I think, like 1,000.
And he's like, oh, I thought y'all were equal in this company. And they're like, oh, we all share, but not equally.
Yeah. And yeah, because he's like, oh, there's 513 of you, but I'm only signing like 50, 60 papers. So so then if you're not a sergeant, you don't even get anything.
Yeah. So it's basically, yeah, it's very, yeah, the hierarchies exist.
Yeah.
The end
Totally.
of sentence.
Yeah.
He is like, every stroke of this quill leaves me a little poorer, or would if I were not a beggar to begin with, and one day I might read these signatures, but not this day. He's just like laughing it away.
LOL. Which is so funny because Tyrion has always been so Lannister pays his debts, and I think this is the first time he's signing something, or like, I know that he has no control over it, whatever, but he just still, not that like, oh, he should cling to his honor, or that that's even a Tyrion move, because Tyrion is very pragmatic, but it's just funny to me that this is the one time he is making a deal where he's like, I'm probably not doing this, you know? Like,
well, that's like, if I live long enough, then sure I'll do it. But if I don't, then it's nobody's problem. Like,
right. Yeah. So I guess he's still sort of planning to uphold it if he can.
Yeah. I'll go on buying steel swords with parchment dragons.
I liked that.
And if he ever went back to Westeros to claim his birthright, he would have all the gold of Castle Rock to make good on his promise. If not, well, he'd be dead. And then he chuckles at the fact that some people in that case might go to Cersei to try to fulfill the promises, and he just laughs at the idea of that.
That's so funny. I know that he's like so far away from Cersei right now, like, and like there's just not a lot of people who care about what's like, it would just, the news about what's going on with Cersei is not very like hot in Marine right now, you know? But I just want to see his reactions to what's going on in King's Landing. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, so he signs the $100 dragons, and then the 1,000 golden dragons, and then it's 10,000 golden dragons. No, there's like 5,000 golden dragons for some other guys, and then 10,000 for Casporio and Inkpots, whose true name appeared to be Tibero Istarion. And he's like, Tiberio? That sounds like almost like a Lannister name. Are you some long-lost cousin? And he's like, maybe. I also make sure people pay their debts, so...
But that's a good quality to have in an accountant.
Yeah. And the final big major promise is to Brown Ben Plum himself, who gets 100,000 golden dragons, 50 hides of fertile land, a castle, and a lordship.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so obviously he's getting the biggest thing. And that's all the promises. And they're like, we'll keep you hidden, but like, you also have to put in an effort to stay hidden. Don't go around telling people who you are, because if they come to take you, we may not put up too much of a fight.
Yeah.
FYI.
Literally. And like, you're not the only one who sort of joined us to escape slavery, but like, you are a big one. You gotta chill. Yeah. Like,
you're easily noticeable. So
yeah,
stay inside. Don't go outside if you don't need to. Keep your face hidden. Yeah. So Tyrion has done his part of the deal. Now it's their part of the deal, which is letting him join the Second Sons. So they bring out this like ginormous tome, which contains the signatures of all the people that have signed on with the Second Sons, and this is apparently like the fourth book of this kind. And the Second Sons go back more than a century. They're one of the oldest free companies, and there's like, they're naming like, oh, Aegor Rivers served a year with them, Bittersteel served with them before he started the Golden Company. And Aerion Targaryen was also a Second Son, and Roderick Stark, the Wandering Wolf. Like, all these some of these people we kind of heard of, some of these not.
Yeah.
But Tyrion's like, okay, let's get to it. And he goes to sign, and they're like, wait, not that black ink. Use this red one. because traditionally we would sign with blood, but blood isn't that great of an ink, so we switched to actually using red ink. And Tyrion's like, oh, let me keep why break with tradition?
Wow.
Let me just and then he like cuts himself and uses his blood to do this. I guess he's just kind of playing it up, but also I was like, did he hear that blood isn't as good as ink? Like, is he hoping it'll fade away or something?
LOL, yeah. I also was thinking maybe he's like using this as one of his daily pokes. So he's like, because you know how he's got to poke himself every day to make sure he doesn't get grayscale. So I was like, he's like, I got the time. I may as well test for grayscale right here. You know, like at least one of his fingers right here.
Yeah. So he signs right below where Jorah has already signed.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's like, looking forward to working with y'all. Hopefully you'll prove better than my old brother. My previous brother was entirely unsatisfactory.
Ouch.
Which is such what?
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, get yourself some armor. Make sure you get some for Penny. Get to it. And they're like, oh no. He's like, I don't want to go to her. All she does is sleep and glare at me these days.
Aww.
And they offer him some terrible advice and send him on his way. That's all I'll say. So he goes to like it's like in their tent wherever they're set up, and she is there, what looks like sleeping, but when he wakes her up, she's like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, you're talking to me now." Because she has been super, super mad at him for abandoning the dog and pig. And, like, I get it, Penny, but also, come on, Penny, but also, like, maybe we need to hold on to people like Penny in a world like what Westeros or, like, Essos or whatever this is.
Yeah.
I don't know. And she just is always sleeping, and she says, I'm sad and tired. And Tyrion is worried because she looks super pale and he feels her brow and maybe she has a fever, which could all be super, super duper bad.
Yeah.
Like bad for Penny, obviously, if she has the pale mare, right? But also, like, what does that mean for Tyrion, for Jorah, for everybody else who's been interacting with them? Will they get thrown out of the company because they brought the disease to them, you know?
Yeah.
So we don't get a resolution on one way or other, but just that she isn't looking too good.
Yeah, totally.
And she asks for news about Dog and Pig, and he lies that there hasn't been any news. But one of the Casporio, apparently he says that 3 Yunkish slave catchers were prowling through the camps asking for dwarves, and one of them was carrying a spear with a dog's head on it.
Ouch.
So, yeah, that
sucks.
He spares Penny that at this moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, we gotta go get some armor, and there's a war coming. We gotta be ready for it.
Yeah.
So they go outside and they catch up with this kid named... No, not the kid first. First they go to... Who is the guy?
Snatch,
sorry. I saw snatch and I was like, surely that's a verb, not like a proper noun. But yeah, Snatch is like, okay, what can you fight with? And Tyrion's like, an axe, a dagger, a choice remark, though I'm deadliest with my crossbow. And Snatch is like, how many exactly have you killed? And this is where he says 9. His father counted for at least that many, surely. Lord of Castle Rock, Warden of the West, Shield of Lannisport, Hand of the King, husband, brother, father.
Wow. I mean, can't argue with that logic.
Yeah, and Snatch is like, yeah, sure. get on your way. And he sends this kid called Kem to take them to the wagons full of like old armor and stuff to look through and get stuff fitted for them. And so this kid is from King's Landing. He's telling his like, you know, sad tale about I fought for Stannis, but then when y'all came and attacked us, I ran away, but Stannis' people wouldn't let me on the boat because they said there was no room for cowards.
Yeah.
And then I heard that people that fought for Stannis were being sent to the wall, so I made my way across the narrow sea and joined up with the Second Sons.
Yeah, man.
And Tyrion's like, oh, do you miss King's Landing? And he's like, I miss some things. I miss this really good bowl of brown this guy used to make. Have you had any yourself? And Tyrion's like, oh yeah, for sure. I like to call it singer's stew because it tastes so good it makes you want to sing.
And the guy's like, makes sense.
Yup. The next time I'm there, I'll ask for that instead.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And the kid asks Tyrion if he misses anything, and his first thought is Jaime.
This was so sad, yeah.
Jaime, Shay, Tysha, my wife, the wife I barely knew. But he says wine's whores and wealth, especially the wealth because it buys the other things. So yeah, they're just, you know, chatting back and forth, and they finally get to the wagons, and there's a lot of junk, but potentially some useful pieces there. The guy Hammer, who's the smith, is just passed out drunk,
and his apprentice is named Nail.
Yeah, Nail is there to help them out. And as they're looking through, Jorah comes up, and he's got all the mismatched armor too, but he's looking more like, he looks definitely 100% like a sellsword, but he's looking in much better spirits than he did the last time they saw him.
Yeah.
His bruises are fading. There's like the swelling has subsided. Though he does still have that brand they burned into his cheek, which
ouch.
Yeah. So he's gonna be forever marked. But I guess if he keeps on a helmet, nobody needs to know, like, you know, because that would be a very clear giveaway that he may have escaped. So like he's got to keep that hidden.
Yeah, totally.
And Penny is looking at like different things. She puts on like a half helm, and he's like, "No, we got to get you a full helm," or what does he call it? Like
a great helm.
A great helm. But the one he offers her is too big or whatever. And she's like, what's so wrong with the half helm? He's like, it's open faced. I'm fond of looking at your nose. I would rather that you kept it, in his Tyrion offhandish way. But Penny takes it. You like my nose? What
Penny.
else do you like about me? Just
Penny.
I mean, she is a child, but also I have such mixed feelings about Penny. Because, like, okay, there's not much, but I'll just kind of, she's being very much like, we should have gotten Crunch and Pretty Pig, and we were, like, we don't need such armor, we're just mummers, we're just jousters, like, we don't do it for real. And Tyrion is just... And she's talking about how happy they were. She like how she dreamed of back when her brother was alive and how happy they were doing their whole thing. And Tyrion just like slaps her, which is obviously not great, but I understood his frustration. I wish he hadn't expressed it in that manner. But he says to her, if you want to dream, go back to sleep. When you wake up, we'll still be escaped slaves in the middle of a siege. Crunch is dead, the pig as well, most like. Now find some armor and put it on, and never mind where it pinches. The mummer show is over. Fight or hide or shit yourself as you like, but whatever you decide to do, you'll do it clad in steel, because And she's just like, we shouldn't have run. We should have stayed. Yezan wasn't so bad. We were his special. And he like, before she finishes, he's like, we were slaves. And she's like, we were special slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyrion does that thing where he's like, yeah, I guess he wasn't as bad. And his, like, great thought, that's in quotations, is there has never been a slave who did not choose to be a slave. The choice may be between bondage and death, but the choice is always there.
Yeah, that's
not
so
a choice,
icky.
Tyrion.
That
is
was so
not
icky.
a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, putting that aside, back to what Penny's thing is.
Mm-hmm.
He Penny, I think he's accurate about this, or, like, you know, Penny, he says, had been searching for a new master since the day her brother had died. She wants someone to take care of her, someone to tell her what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, once again, I do think that is kind of what Penny wants. Penny just wants somebody to tell her what to do, to go along, not have to like, take charge, not have to do anything herself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, like, the same thing I have sometimes with, like, people in real life, where they'll have this kind of attitude where they're like, guide me, you know? And then, so, inevitably, I think the part what I have a problem with is the fact that I'm not like this. I guess I am jealous of people like Penny who can be like this. And more often than not, like, most of the times when I've seen this, they do get taken under somebody's wing and kind of guided.
Yeah.
And, like, Tyrion's doing, like, you know, and I'm like, sorry, this is, like, all my personal bullshit that is coming up. But just, like, how is it that people can function like this? And be, like, why can't I be like this?
Yeah.
Why do I always have to be proactive, in charge, doing the things? Why can't somebody just tell me to do things? Why can't I have this attitude and then somebody else just somehow adopt me under their wing, you know?
Yeah.
Why am I the way I am?
Yeah. Okay. No, I see that. Yeah, because it's like, no, it definitely feels like a curse sometimes to, like, not be a Penny and to be a Tyrion instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I just didn't. Yeah, now I'm just kind of thinking, because that's not really how I saw their dynamic at all. But then I'm like, you're bringing something interesting to it, so I'm like, wait, I don't know. Like, I feel like I need to think about this now. But when I was reading this, I just was like, because I guess, like, using what you brought up, it's like, I feel like Tyrion is doing this thing where he basically is like Penny didn't even know what he was doing when he was like, hey, when he, like, basically got the people to make them go get the water from the well, right? That's what it was. Like, Penny had no part of that. She was like, oh, the wells are this way. Why are we going that way? You know, she had no part of that. She had no say. And he is big. To me, it just feels like he's decided everything for them. And maybe he has a point that that's what Penny would have, like Penny wanted someone to guide her, and that's what he did. But at the end of the day, like,
but
this
would
is
they
not
have
what she
let her
wanted.
live if he had left himself? Like, if he didn't take Penny with him, but he himself left, would Penny have been spared, you know?
Right. I don't know.
But, okay,
but then
you make
also,
a really good point about how he is making the decisions for her.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a terrible dynamic on both ends. Like, Penny is, like, completely like, please somebody be in charge of my life. And Tyrion is like, you know nothing, I'm gonna be in charge of your life. Like, it's bad both ways.
Yeah, like, I get what you're saying, though. Like, she's clinging to him, but then it is kind of that thing of, like, if you're gonna be, like, hey, someone help me, someone save me, you have to be okay with, like, it just, like, naturally, like, if in life, like, someone's floundering around and they're like, Harmit, can you figure this out for me? You can't start being picky about the manner in which I figure it out for you. So I get that part of it, but then I also understand, like, if I didn't even know it was happening, and then the person is just like, well, I knew this is what you would have wanted. Like, you know, I can imagine the frustration that I would feel. Like, okay, like, you know, if I'd known you were going to do that, maybe I wouldn't have asked you, you know? So, yeah, it's hard because they're both kind of wrong. But we're in Tyrion's head,
both,
so it's...
Like, I want Penny to take more of a charge of her life.
Yeah.
And I want Tyrion to guide her in a way that isn't like, I'm just gonna tell you all what to do. Like,
yeah, and I think, honestly, even if he, like... Because I feel like he just kind of has been like, well, we needed to do that. Like, and even in his head last time we saw him, he was like, well, there's no way we could have saved them, and that sucks, but oh well. But, like, I don't even know if he said any of this to Penny. Like, I feel like even, like, also because, like, I feel like, you know, like, when he apologized for her brother's death and everything, like, she seemed to react positively to that, even though it wasn't his fault, but he still was like, hey, I'm sorry that happened, like,
right.
As a proxy of my actions.
Show a lot more compassion, yeah.
Yeah, like, I just feel like, obviously, like, the slap was just wrong no matter how wrong she was, you know? So that on its own was like, hey, don't slap people. But then also, it just, even the way that he's acting, like, ignoring the slap, it just is very, like, yes, you helped get her out, but she also helped get you out, because they wouldn't have let you go on your own, blah, blah, blah. Like, at the end of the day, like, you have to be grateful to her, just like she has to be grateful to you, and I just feel like you both need to make a little bit more of an effort. Like, it's just... Yeah, but then it also sucks, you know, because, like, all she had were her animals, and, like, she didn't even have a choice in them being left behind. Like,
yeah.
Of course she's like, I'm sad and I'm tired, and, like, I get the, like, I don't know, sometimes you just want to, like, be depressed, but then I also get Tyrion's, like, we literally don't have time to be depressed, Penny.
Yeah,
like,
we're in survival mode. We can't be in depression mode.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
like,
the thing, she hasn't, like, she has not been in survival mode.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe that's, like, really unfair of me. Like, you know, even being like, oh, this guy is not so bad. Like, that is a survival tactic. Like,
right.
When facing slavery. Yeah, I feel like her survival mode hasn't been activated to the degree we need it to be activated in a situation like this.
Yeah.
So I understand his frustration. I am more like Tyrion in this thing than I am like Penny, and I am jealous that I'm not more like Penny. So I am being mean about it. So there you go.
No, that's fair. Yeah, it just made this chapter not very fun to read, because you're like, I need you guys to get over this.
Yeah. Anyway, so they get some armor. Tyrion finds, like, a little dirk that works for him. It's got, like, a triangular blade, and it's also a little bit rusted, so he's like, even better. I'll make my enemies sick.
LOL.
So, yeah, basically, she wants someone to take care of her, someone to tell her what to do, and this is where... But he doesn't say that to her. He thinks that's too cruel of a thing to say. Instead, he says, all the special slaves of Yezens are dead. Like, he doesn't know this. It's probably true, but he's like, they're all dead. We would have died too if we'd stayed.
Yeah. Also, like, the constant lying to her didn't really rub me the right way either. Like, I just was kind of like,
yeah, like,
okay, like, you're...
It's like he's treating her like a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's just kind of making it easier for... And, like, even with, like, you know, like...
But also, she is a kid. But also, she's not. And...
But even if she's a kid, like... we just, like, now, in the year 2025, we know that that's just, like lying to your kids all the time is an easy way to parent in the moment, but it's never the right way to treat your kids either. So even if, like, he's treating her like a kid, that's still the wrong way to treat a kid, even though she's just a kid. Like, it's still, like... And I know, like, it's in survival mode, you can't be picky about your parenting and all the things, but it just is very, like... I just feel like he's just making it easier on himself in the moment by lying to her, but he's not really, like, I don't know, it's, like, a lack of respect for her, too. Yeah. Like, to just be like, I'm just gonna lie to you, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so Jorah's like, doesn't matter what y'all are doing. Get your shit together. There's a war coming. Not the war coming, but young Kai have already lost this war, though
Mhm.
it may take some time for them to know it. Marine has an army of unsullied infantry, the finest in the world, and they have dragons.
Mhm.
And this side of the Yunkish only have, a bunch of lordlings, each with their own half-trained soldiers that are not at all disciplined in all these things.
Mhm.
And Tyrion's like, yeah, you're right. And currently, the second sons are on the losing side. They need to turn their cloaks again and do it now. Leave that to me. So, after
Mhm.
all that frustrating dynamic between Tyrion and Penny, it ends on a positive note of,
Mhm.
we're gonna get the second sons back on
Mhm.
Dany's side.
Yeah. Oh my god, scheming time.
Yeah.
But I'm literally like, Tyrion, when did you have time to cook this up? Like, oh my god.
But I feel like you predicted he was gonna do this a long time ago, so
I
like...
know, but it's kind of like, yes, I did, but it was like, I'm still kind of like, oh wow, like, you literally just escaped, you just joined the Second Sons, and you're already ready to, like, I'm just kind of like in awe, you know? Like, even though I felt like it was coming, I'm still like, oh, you did it so
Okay.
soon, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so is he gonna be successful?
I think so. I think so. I think that, like, I also think that, like, Brown Ben Plum now is also, like, seeing his value too. Like, obviously he can get all that money out of it, whatever. But I also think that, like, Brown Ben Plum is not, like, that delusional. Like, I think there's more to it for him than just the payoff that is not here yet, you know?
Yeah.
So I think there is a sense of, like, I trust this little guy and his schemes, you know? Like, I think
Cool.
there's a little bit of that, like,
Yeah,
I
and
see
Brown Ben
you.
Plum is like smart enough to know that he's now on the losing side and he's always
That
willing to,
too. Oh,
switch to the winning
absolutely.
side. So,
Yeah, and like, why wouldn't he want to be on the side with the dragons? And, like, all the things too. Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. Are they all gonna survive this oncoming battle? Like, okay,
Hmm.
make a prediction for the four main, like,
Okay,
Tyrion, Penny, Jorah, Brown Ben Plum.
Penny is not surviving it. The other three are.
Is Penny dying, like, in battle, or is
I
he
think
dying of, like, the Pale Mare or
I think
something?
she's gonna get the pale mare. I think
Mm,
all the
that
little things are
sucks.
there for that to happen. And I also think that, like, I mean this with so much love to Penny, but I think her time has come narratively
Yeah, there's not, like, a lot,
for her to
like,
do
unless,
and
like,
be.
there's, like,
Yeah.
tremendous character growth all of a sudden.
Yeah. I think she's kind of being written as somebody who can
Yeah,
leave soon.
unfortunately, she is, like, a plot device
Yes,
to further
absolutely.
Tyrion's plot. Like,
Absolutely. She
her entire
absolutely is.
existence, which is, like, love reading that, just, you know, the suffering of women or the lives of women in service of men. Great.
Lovely.
Um,
Best
but
arcs.
but that is definitely what this is.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. That's why I'm like, oh yeah, he's kind of planting the seeds of
yeah.
the pale
This is
mare.
why I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like Penny, and I don't like Penny because of the way she's written, and
Hmm.
and that's why I don't like George R. R. Martin for writing. You know, like,
Yeah, totally. It's like, yeah, and it's very, like, even like the way that so, like, she's definitely used as, like, a plot device for Tyrion, like, in terms of where his plot goes and, like, that, but I think it's also used, like, Penny is also used in this weird, like, he's comparing, like, okay, what am I trying to say? Like, especially the end of this chapter where Tyrion tries to go all philosophizing about slavery as a concept, like, she's also used in, like, a weird, like, used in that arc too, like, her mindset to what happened to her and Tyrion versus, like, Tyrion and versus Jorah, like, she's kind of used to compare and contrast that as well. which I don't know how I don't know. It's like, it's fine. Like, I think George R. R. Martin makes his point, but it also just like this weird conclusion that Tyrion comes to where we had it in a previous chapter too, where he was like, oh, like, slaves here have just as good or just as bad of a life as like people in service back home. And it's like, well, that actually says more about the way that you're treating the people in your service than it does about slavery being good, you know? So, and I feel like the same concepts sort of come back around. And I think George is writing that intentionally. Like, I think that's intentional, and we're supposed to pick up on that and be like, oh, like, this is Tyrion's bias, and here's how he's wrong. But it just kind of sucks that those are the only things Penny as a character is there for, you know? Is, like, the slavery compare-contrast mindset.
They could have definitely left Penny, like, in Volantis, and she could have, like, you know, been an entrepreneur out on her own in the world, like... You know, something. And we could have, like, heard about her, like, in book 8 or some wild shit, like, you know, the mistress of all the mummers of the world or something. Like,
the mistress
but instead,
of all the mummers
Tyrion
in the
drags
world.
her along, and George R. R. Martin drags her along for the purpose of furthering Tyrion's plot.
Yeah.
And I don't love that. So, okay.
Yeah. And also just one more thing, like, for his, like, reckoning with his identity, and to have like her who's so like comfortable in the fact that she's tiny versus he's not, like she literally is just for Tyrion. Like, yeah.
Okay, so I guess the only other prediction, will Tyrion get the opportunity to make good on all the promises he made the Second Sons?
I think so. Because I think eventually it's gonna go from let me run away to, like, if he starts hearing the Cersei news, whatever, like, I feel like eventually it'll be like, it's gonna become like, I'm gonna go take my birthright, you know? Like, I think eventually that's gonna be a thing that comes up.
I think he does, like, eventually want that, but...
Yeah, but I don't think
long enough to do it.
Right.
Like, will he get the power and support to do it?
I do think that is like an eventuality. Like, it's very like, hey, we fight this Dany thing. Maybe we see a bit more of the world along the way, not unintentionally. Like, I think that's like a book 7, book 8. I gotta keep this promise. Because I think with the way that it's
I love how we're talking in, like, books that don't even exist in concept. Like,
True. Yeah, I think that, like, because I think, like, I think earlier the way they're talking about it, it really seems like the intention is, we sort this out, and then you go get us our money, right? Like, that's kind of the way that it seems to be portrayed. But I think that things are gonna come up, and Tyrion's gonna be able to be like, I'll get that for you later. Think about it. Like, Cersei's in charge right now, but don't worry, I'm gonna go get... Like, I think he's gonna have to figure that out, you know?
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Barristan. The Kingbreaker. So him and...
Oh, wait, sorry, can I just say one more thing? I think it's so funny that at the end of this chapter, Tyrion and Jorah are both like, oh yeah, like, Dany's got this in the bag. We just gotta figure this out. Meanwhile, Dany, like, I don't think that like, obviously things have changed since, like, Dany Unleashed started, like, the dragon, freaking, what's his name? Drogon came back, and, like, Dany was able to ride a dragon, whatever. Like, obviously things have changed, and, like, circumstances are different. Like, now even, like, the Pale Mare is bigger, and youngish men are dying from the Pale Mare. The main guy died. Like, obviously so many things are different, but I don't think enough has changed for like, Dany's odds to have... Like, I just don't think that Dany's odds have skyrocketed. So what that says to me is that Dany could have had this attitude the whole time. And I feel like Jorah and Tyrion have had this attitude the whole time that she can do this. But reading Dany's POV this whole book, it's been, I'm helpless, what can I do? I'm helpless, what can I do?
Yeah, because she wouldn't use the things that are available at her disposal,
So it's so, like, it's such whiplash to read this POV and have them be like, no, actually she would win if we just did this one thing, you know? Which is really frustrating to look back now and be like, oh, so it was just you, Dany, you know? Yeah, okay, we can move on now.
So Barristan and the Shave Pate are plotting. This is, like, the final, like,
Yeah.
go ahead meeting. Everything is in place. The code word is Grolio. R.I.P.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, the Shapehead is like, we gotta kill Hisdar because this whole, like, otherwise he's gonna kill the dragons. The Yunkish it was never about the Yunkish leader dying. That was just an excuse so that Hisdar can have a pretext to kill the dragons. And if we don't act now, Hisdar is, what's likely gonna happen is he's got his hostages back. He's just gonna give them a little bit more reason to kill the hostages he doesn't like. Like,
oh my god.
What's his face?
Dario.
And then finally, he's gonna give in and kill the dragons before the Volantines get here.
Ouch.
So we gotta get to it. It's gonna happen at the hour of the wolf, the blackest part of night.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I highlighted that for some reason, but that's when they're doing it. And Grey Worm and the Unsullied are gonna close the gates, close and bar the gates at first light. I am assuming these are the city gates.
Right. I think so too.
Yeah. The Shape Paint wants them to, instead of just closing the gates, like going out and attacking the Yunkish right away because they would be vulnerable and not expecting something like this. But Barristan is adamant that, there is a peace that Daenerys signed, and until they break it, we're not going to break it. So we'll lock it down, and we will demand that they release the hostages and withdraw their armies. And if they don't do it, then the peace is broken, and then we can go to battle.
And the Shape Fate is like, your way is stupid. The hour is ripe. I'm like, man, they're fighting.
Because Barristan's like, your way is dishonorable, and the Shape Fate says, your way is stupid.
Iconic.
Yeah. And Barristan's like, yeah, well, you agreed to this plan. And Shape Fate's like, well, I agreed before Grolio was killed. The slavers have no honor, but Barristan's like, I have honor. We have honor.
Oh my god. Ouch.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, fine, whatever. We'll probably rue the day or rue your old man's honor before this game is done. And then they move on to what they're going to do about Hisdar's guards. And so he keeps like 2 of the pit fighters as his guards. Tonight it's Kraz and Steelskin. Steelskin is kind of like a newcomer, so they're not like not considered as dangerous, but Kraz is the one that's like could be a problem. Meanwhile, Barristan's like, don't worry about him. I can deal with him.
Wow. Barry is so confident in his ability.
Yeah, he's also like, we might not even need to fight them. Like, I'm just gonna talk to Hisdar, and if he's cool with understanding that we're not gonna kill him, he might just call them off. Yeah, but if it comes to fighting, I can deal with Kraz because he's no match for a King's Guard, In the pit, your enemies are announced, and you can, like, recoup from your wounds and, like, know the battle is done. But as a King's Guard, the battle was never truly done. Threats came from everywhere and nowhere and at any time of day or night. For every hour of fighting, a King's Guard knight spent 10,000 hours watching, waiting, standing silent in the shadows. And Hisdar's pit fighters were already growing bored and restive with their new duties, and bored men were lax, slow to react.
Wow.
So
okay,
I can
Barry.
deal with Kraz.
Yeah.
And Barristan is like, okay, and now the other thing we need to deal with is the hostages that the Yunkish have. You say you have spies there? We need our hostages to be freed. And the Shape Pit is like, rescue missions, that's a difficult task. I don't think they like come to a, Barristan's like, we gotta find somebody that like already is, or he's like, I can go save him. I saved Eris one time.
Oh my god.
I rescued the hostage before. And the Shape Pit is like, no. And even Barristan, like, in his head is like, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, Grandpa with his tales from the back old good days. Wait, from back in the good old days. There we go.
Yeah. But basically they need somebody that, like, is already in the camp, won't be suspicious,
Yeah.
and can get them out. Did they come to a... Yeah, I think, like, and then the Shape Pit is like, do we even need to save him? Like, who cares about Dario?
He wouldn't do it for us.
Yeah, exactly. And Barristan's like, Daenerys cares about Dario. And the Shape Pit is like, well, wouldn't it be, like, she'll grieve, but in the end, it'll be better for everyone if he's dead.
Oh my god.
And privately, Barristan agrees, but that isn't, he's not gonna say that out loud. And he's reflecting on how, like, Daenerys loves Dario, not that it's, like, the smartest decision, you know, not that you can decide who to love, but, you know, like, it's, and then he kind of flashes back to how Rhaegar loved Lady Lyanna.
Oh my
and
god.
all this stuff, and, like, how all these other people loved other people, blah blah blah. And then we get some...
I didn't know Bloodraven and Bittersteel were also fighting over a girl.
Yeah.
More drama.
Yes. The Prince of Dragonflies loved Jenny of Oldstone so much that he cast aside a crown, and Westeros paid the bride price in corpses. All three of the sons of the fifth Aegon had wed for love in defiance of their father's wishes, and because that unlikely monarch had himself followed his heart when he chose his queen, he allowed his sons to have their way, making bitter enemies where he might have had fast friends. Treason and turmoil followed, as night follows day, ending at Summerhall in sorcery, fire, and grief. So once again, very vague references to Summerhall and the disaster there, but also this Aegon, that's Egg.
That's what I thought, but I was like, oh my god, so Egg had a love affair.
Sure, and then all of his kids had love affairs, and it ended terribly. Yeah, and then, like, all of it ended in Summerhall. So, like, there's, like, all this...
Hey.
We never get clearly what happened at Summerhall, but we have, like, Mace Strayman being like, all my brothers dreamed of dragons, so maybe Aegon was trying to, like, do something with dragons.
Yeah.
And then also, we know Rhaegar was born at the tragedy of Summerhall, like right there, basically. We know, like, a bunch of the Targaryens died there. I think Dunk also died there.
Aw, my homie.
Yeah, and Egg died there. So, like, a lot of... So like, I think we've kind of talked about it, but the theory is, like, Aegon, like, Egg kind of lost it a little bit, tried to, like, do some sorcery to, like, bring back dragons.
Yeah.
And Dunk, have I talked about this? But, like, if Dunk had to
I don't think so.
To work against Egg, or, like, you know, he... Something about how Dunk may not have, like, been on, like, totally cool with the plan. And I think we heard that he was the one that potentially saved Rhaegar, or, like, Rhaegar's mom. Or something.
Oh my god.
Okay. There's, like, lots of information, but I don't know where I'm getting it from, because books.
Yeah. That's so drama.
Yeah.
That's so drama.
So anyway, that's probably it. Like, if George had ever finished the series, that's probably where that series would have ended, but he's not going to finish any series, so let's move on.
LOL.
Let's finish this chapter, at least.
Sad.
So they're still talking about hostages. Barristan flashes forward from this flashback to the present, and they're still talking about hostages. And the Shape Pate is like, we also have hostages. And he's talking about the cupbearers that Dany took. And even Barristan's like, they're children, and I like them, and I'm not gonna hurt them.
Yeah.
And the Shape Pate's like, what good are hostages if we can't touch them? And Barristan's like, well, we can offer them in exchange for the, you know, Dario, Hero, and Jogo. But, like, Daenerys would not want them harmed. And then once again, another flashback. I'm sorry, he just has so many flashbacks constantly. Like, it's just, he's living in two timelines at the same time.
Yeah.
But he thinks back to when Tywin had Rhaegar's kids killed and presented to Robert,
Yeah.
and he's thankful that he himself was not there, because if he had seen Robert like smile at the sight of dead children, he says no army on this earth could have stopped me from killing him. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't know if we know if Robert smiled, but Robert definitely was like, they're dragon spawn, they deserve to die, or some bullshit,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, even when he was like, yeah, go kill Dany, this child who's just off doing stuff.
Yeah. I will not suffer the murder of children. Accept that, or I'll have no part of this. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Barristan has the right of it, but it does weaken their position that they're not willing to harm the hostages, which I don't want them to harm, but like, it's like
totally.
a political consideration.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so finally...
And I liked this line, like, you kill men for the wrongs they've done, not the wrongs that they may do someday. Because he's like, oh, they're just gonna grow up to be sons of the Harpy. And yeah, Barristan's right, you can't... That's literally how people justify racism and other shit. Like, you can't bring that same argument into this. Like... Bad.
Yeah, but finally, Skahaz has to give in. He's like, fine, so be it. We won't harm the hostages. Or his daughter.
Whatever, sir, grandfather.
And yeah, so they're like, okay, cool, this is the plan, get to it.
Yeah.
And then we get into the self-reflections of Barristan Selmy. You know?
This man could spend his entire life pondering. Like, the rest of his life pondering.
Because Skahaz leaves and is like, long has Kandak waited for this night. Because, you know, they're mortal enemies, so their families have been against each other for a while. And he's like, this is what I fear, but if his daughter is innocent, what they're doing today would be treason. And then he's like, but how can he be innocent? He, like, urged Daenerys to try the locust, and he was telling people to kill the dragon, so he can't be innocent. Well, I presented my thoughts that he said that to Daenerys once.
Right. It's very circumstantial.
What's his name? The one who ended up eating all the...
Oh.
Well,
yeah,
how have
I
we
forget
forgotten
his name.
the name?
Yeah.
Just like when I knew the name 1 minute before I wanted to say it.
Yeah, oh my god, what's his name?
Strong Belwas. Okay.
There we go.
We got it. It's fine. We'll pretend we didn't forget. Okay. So I've already made the case that he only urged Daenerys to try them once, and he never got a chance to try them himself because Strong Belwas ate them all. So, like, I still think there's a possibility that he's innocent of this specifically.
Yeah, I think that you have a point, but I guess what I would say is that I don't really care if he's innocent of this specific point, because I think, like, you know, Barristan has this very, like, rule-based way of thinking about this. Like, he's very, like, it has to be done in this way, because if I do it in any other way, it's wrong. Like, he's already struggling so much with this, even though, according to, like, his rule book, he has justified it. Like, he's like, oh, well, if his Dar did it, then he was trying to poison the queen. Like, he was committing treason against the queen, and she's the ruler. Like, whatever. You know, he's justifying all these things in this way. But I think that, like, even if his Dar didn't do this specific thing,
he's still up in the plot.
Yeah, my rule book says that, yeah, Barristan, like, that doesn't mean that he was, like, I know Barristan would argue, okay, but then we don't have proof that he wasn't loyal to Dany, but I would argue, like, loyal to Dany. Wait, what did I say?
Royal. You said royal to Dany.
LOL. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I correct your words when I misspeak all the time. I guess
okay.
I'm just an asshole. Move on.
That's not true. Yeah, like, I feel like he's just, like, oh, it doesn't, him not trying to actively poison Dany does not prove that he is loyal to Dany. So I think that, like, you acting on behalf of the crown as a Queensguard, like, even if you, like, I don't know, I think that, like, most of the shit you guys do in this universe is based off of circumstantial proof, so I think you acting on circumstantial proof is just fine, so I think this spurring Barristan into action is just fine with me.
Oh, it's fine with me too, but
I do understand that he is kind of like, oh wait, that would be wrong. I'd be taking things into my own hands without enough proof, blah blah blah. And I'm glad that he's considering all these things, but I just feel like we have enough stuff against Hisdar. Like, you might not be a harpy, but you sure were colluding with them in some way. Like, I feel like this is fine. And yeah, so maybe he didn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So he's pondering all of this, and he goes and visits his knights in training a little bit. He's got a few, there's a couple. There's Tumco Low, who is, he says, the best natural swordsman Salmi had seen since Jaime Lannister.
Which is a high compliment.
Yeah. And there's Larak the Lash, who works with a whip, and at first Salmi was like...
at first he was like, what could you possibly do with a whip? Like, how could it be a good weapon? But then he saw him using it, and he was like, oh, you've learned some skills there, buddy.
Exactly. And then there's, like, a kid they call the Red Lamb, who's one of the Lazarene, who's got... he's all ferocity, no technique. And then there's, like, 3 Giscari brothers who are freedmen.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good too. So he's like, 6 out of 26, not too bad. They hold potential.
Yeah.
And he's thinking whether he should knight a couple of them right away, because only a knight can make a knight, and if things go wrong tonight, they may not, like, get to be knights.
Right.
But if things go wrong tonight, the fact that he knighted them could work against them, so that he doesn't want to put that on them either.
Dude, this is all... There's so many things to consider.
Yeah, and he's, giving them... He's fighting with them and giving them the fighting lessons, but also, like, the honor lessons,
Yeah.
It's chivalry that makes a true knight, not a sword. Without honor, a knight is no more than a common killer. It is better to die with an honor than to live without it. And the kids just look at him like, what? But he's like, oh, you'll get it one day.
Oh my god, yeah. Can you imagine just sitting there and lecturing, like, 7-year-olds about honor? And they're like, man, I'm just trying to fight. Like, what is old Gramps on about?
Yeah. And then he goes up to the, Daenerys's rooms. Missandei is there.
Sorry, while we're talking about honor, that's the thing I also was trying to get at before. Like, I know he's like, what I'm doing is no longer honorable, but I think that it doesn't necessarily, like, I think that even if doing this isn't honorable, it's still okay and maybe even right that he's doing it, Like, I feel like some of the speech is also just to, like, calm himself down, and I'm like, it's okay, Barry.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
So he visits Missandei, who's like, I feel like things are happening, and he's like, pretend you don't, just hang tight in this room, don't leave it.
Yeah, hang tight, honey.
Yeah. And then he does more reminiscing about, like, how there's always plots in the air. Perhaps by now he should have grown used to such things. The Red Keep had its secrets too. Even Rhaegar, the Prince of Dragonstone, had never trusted him as he trusted Arthur Dayne. Harrenhal was proof of that. The year of the false spring. Old Lord Went had announced the Tornley short... Old Lord Went had announced the tourney shortly after a visit from his brother, Sir Oswell Went of the Kingsguard. With Varys whispering in his ear, King Aerys became convinced that his son was conspiring to depose him, that Went's tourney was but a ploy to give Rhaegar a pretext for meeting with as many great lords as could be brought together. Eris had not set foot outside the Red Keep since Duskendale, yet suddenly he announced that he would accompany Prince Rhaegar to Harrenhal, and everything had gone awry from there. Okay, let's unpack that a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next little bit.
Yes.
So, the tourney seems to have been organized at the advice of Sir Oswell Went of the Kingsguard, who was potentially plotting with Rhaegar, definitely plotting with Rhaegar to gather people against the king. And Varys told the king about this, and that's where the king showed up and fucked everything up.
Yeah, whatever happened to for the good of the realm,
right?
Varys?
So this is like more fodder for the he's a Blackfire, or Aegon's a Blackfire, that's why he wanted to get this kid in power. Or like, just wanted to do some like needed to disrupt the current monarchy to get the Blackfires into power or something.
Yeah. I was like, come on, Varys, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is like, I want to know so much more. Give me stuff.
Totally. Literally. And then also, okay, you know the Jaime POV we got of like, oh, Rhaegar was leaving, and he told me things would change when he got back. What was that on his way to the Harrenhal tourney?
Yeah. Or on the battle to the Trident. It was like one of those things. I don't know.
Okay, then I think it was battle to the Trident.
Yeah, okay. I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting.
Or battle at the Trident, or to battle at the Trident. We've
right. Okay. Right, because then after he announced Lyanna, like, things kind of happened quickly from there. Okay, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, Barristan's like, if I had been a better knight, if I had unhorsed the prince in that last tilt, I would have chosen the Queen of Love and Beauty, not Rhaegar. And Barristan would have chosen Ashara Dane. Once again, like the manic pixie dream girl of all these guys from back in the day.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, and he's like talking about how he can still recall Ashara's smile, the sound of her laughter. He only had to close his eyes to see her with her long dark hair, with her purple eyes. Daenerys has the same eyes. Sometimes when the queen looked at him, he felt as if he were looking at Ashara's daughter. But Ashara's daughter had been stillborn, and his fair lady had thrown herself from a tower soon after, mad with grief for the child she had lost, and perhaps for the man who had dishonored her at Harrenhal. She died never knowing that Barristan had loved her. How could she? He was a knight of the King's Guard. Couldn't have feelings. If I had unhorsed to Rhaegar and crowned Ashara Queen of Love and Beauty, might she have looked to me instead of Stark?
Oh my god.
So, okay, what do you make of this? And then I will...
Okay. So,
yeah, you go ahead.
I know we have that theory that Jon is... Like, some people think that Jon is Ned and Ashara Dane's
I think,
kid.
like, it's an in-world theory. I don't think anybody outside the books thinks that.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
so
that was the rumor that Catelyn heard,
Yes, because that was one of the first... That was, like, the first in-world theory that we were introduced to. And then there was that theory about how it was, like, the wet nurse of some other kid.
Yeah, Willa.
Right, yes. So those were, like, the in-world theories. So I'm like, oh, okay, this could totally be, like, Barristan just kind of falling prey to the same thing. So, like, but Barristan thinks that, like, I guess Barristan's not thinking about Jon at all. So Barristan thinks that, like, the stillborn child was Ashara's and Ned's.
Yeah.
So
he
okay,
clearly
maybe
feels that, like, Ashara showed affections toward at Harrenhal,
Right. Yeah. And, like, maybe, but I feel like that could also be... Because the Lyanna Rhaegar stuff was happening at the exact same time at Harrenhal. As we know, everybody was getting down at Harrenhal, apparently. Although it's funny, because every time we've been to Harrenhal, people have not been horny. But, like, apparently on the tourney day, that's all that was happening.
Well, that was the good old days. It was
Right,
the fall
right, right.
spring. They had hope and shit.
That's true, that's true. But I also feel like maybe in some world, like, I don't know, could there have been like a baby switch with like, or not a baby switch, but like maybe this could be true, but her daughter wasn't stillborn. It was actually John, but then like maybe Lyanna had a kid that was stillborn. Like, I don't know. But
Okay.
otherwise I'm just kind of like, I don't think this is true, you know?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that and move on.
Mm-hmm.
So then he comes back to the present. It's raining.
Mhm.
It's overcast. He's getting ready. He's putting on his armor. He doesn't put on his helm because it's too much of a hazard, really. Like, not very practical. And then he makes his way down the pyramid. And we learn, like, I think this is the first time we actually hear that there's 33 levels to this pyramid. So when he says that he makes the climb like 4 or 5 times a day, man, respect. Like, I could not.
Yeah. Literally, this like old man is doing so much more than I would. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, if anybody needs me, I'm up here, you know?
Yeah, or I'm down here and never leaving. Like,
true,
or, like never going up. Yeah.
Yeah, get my quarters on the first floor. Danny needs a guard. I'll send the kiddos up. Like, you know.
Yeah. He meets with the Shape Pate on the 12th floor, who has brought 6 brazen beasts with locust masks on, and they do the grolio code word. And then they part ways, and he goes further down to like the heart of the pyramid, to where it's Histar's rooms. And the guards there are also, like, the first set of guards there are also in on the thing. So he gets past them. And then they get to the door to the apartments, and Steelskin is there, and Barristan's like, I gotta talk to Hisdar. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll wake him up. But they only let Barristan go through because they're like, oh, this all can be a threat, but really, they don't know. Barristan on his own can be a threat.
Exactly.
So he leaves the 6 outside to deal with Steelskins, and he goes himself inside. And it's, this grand big room that's just surrounded by like 8 feet thick walls. And there's the cupbearers who, honestly, Histar is not being very grateful to them.
Yeah.
And he has been woken or disturbed from having sex with this person, who is also just hanging by. Oh, wait.
And Hisdar is like drunk, like he did not see this coming. He was just having a good night.
Indeed. Yeah, so he's like, what do you have to, like, is there news of Daenerys? Like, what's happening?
What could be so urgent that you are here right now?
Yeah. Yeah, and Barristan keeps calling, being like, there's no news, Your Grace. Your dreams weren't true, Your Grace. And his daughter keeps being like, Your Magnificence, Your Radiance.
Yeah.
And then finally...
They've done this bit in, like, the first Barristan chapter 2, and I'm just like, get out.
Yeah. His daughter's like, why have you come? To ask a question, Magnificence. Are you the Harpy?
Oh,
and from this on, he keeps calling him Magnificence. Like, whenever was the poison your work, Magnificence? I heard you urging Her Grace to try the locust, but never tasted one yourself. And his star's like, I don't like spice. It's bad for my tummy.
LOL.
And Barristan's like, well, maybe. And Hisdar's like, why would I want her killed? He's like, well, why wouldn't you want her killed? Why did you keep urging her, or why did you urge her? He's like, I thought she would like it. And why did you get them to attack the dragon? Oh, the dragon was killing people. And Barristan is like, oh, people that were meant to harm the queen, Harpy sons, your friends, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Hizdahr says, not my friends, but Barristan's like, yeah, if they're not your friends, why did they stop the killings when you asked them not to, like, when you asked them to? And Hizdahr just shakes his head. This time, he did not answer, so clearly there's something.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to pick up? I feel like I have lost the trail of this conversation. Are you the harpy? Tell me true, and I promise you shall have a swift, clean death. And Hizdahr's like, no, get out. You were dismissed from a service. Leave Marine at once, and I'll let you live. Just, yeah. If you're not the harpy, give me the name. And then at this point, he's gotten close, and he pulls his blade, and Hizdahr shouts for Kraz, and Kraz comes running in, and Barristan's like, I'm not here for you. You don't have to fight. But of course, he's gonna fight. And then, for the first time all day, Selmy felt certain this was what I was made for, he thought. The dance, the sweet steel song, a sword in my hand, and a foe before me. Like, it's finally, like, a definitive action he can take where he doesn't feel
he's
all
not
sorts
just
of feelings about it.
Absolutely, yeah. Ugh. And then fight, die.
The guy doesn't, like, he keeps hitting, but he's not used to fighting people in armor, and he's like, you're a coward, take it off, but Barristan's like, this coward's about to kill you, sir. The man was no knight, but his courage had earned him that much courtesy.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah, and then he kills the person.
Kraz is dead.
And then at this point, Hizdahr has run into his room and is hiding behind a curtain. He wiped his sword clean on a curtain and stalked into the bedchamber, where he found Hizdahr Zolorak, 14th of his noble name, hiding behind a tapestry and whimpering. Spare me, he begged. I don't want to die. Few do, yet all men die regardless. Come, I will escort you to a cell. You'll be kept a prisoner until the queen returns. If nothing can be proved against you, you will not come to harm. You have my word as a knight. So that's the plan. And that's what happens. Oh, and also in this process, Barristan has very much scarred Keza, one of the kids, who was present watching all of this.
Oh my god. Yeah, ouch.
Yeah. And then one of the other kids comes running in with a message from Reznak for Hizdahr, which is to say, please come quickly, something's happening. And Barristan's like, wait, the Shape Pate was supposed to make sure Reznak was taken in custody and until we were sure of his loyalty. Had something gone wrong?
Yeah.
And Barristan's like, so what's the message? And the kid's like, dragons. The dragons have been loosed. The end. I got through it.
What?
I did it.
What on... What?
Yeah. So, thoughts? Like, guesses?
Okay. I feel... Okay, I'm gonna try and start working through my thoughts, and you tell me what you think. Okay, so, like, first of all, Skahaz was supposed to take Reznak into custody, whatever. And Skahaz and Barristan have not been getting along all chapter. They've been disagreeing. And also, I feel like Skahaz is the one who's really led Barristan... Like, obviously, he hates Hizdahr, and we know this. Like, and he hates Reznak and all the things. Like, so he's very much led Barristan down this, like, how could Hizdahr not be guilty path, you know? And I'm sure that... And, like, that's awfully convenient for him. As much as I feel like Hizdahr... It's, like, there's a big chance that Hizdahr is guilty, and even if he's not guilty of specifically trying to poison Dany, like, there's a big chance that he is a Harpy's son, he's involved with the Harpy's son, like, whatever, all those things. So, even though I feel like those things are independently true, I'm just kind of suspicious of why he wants them to be, like, him wanting them to be true, and him being
so
like,
what do you think the Shape Pate did here?
I think, not that he did something, but I think that, like, maybe he just kind of went ahead with his own plan, kind of disregarded, which was, like, start attacking outside, don't, like, not in the order and the way that Barristan wanted it, and he sent Barristan off to do the thing so that Barristan could, like, not dispose of Hizdahr, but imprison him. The dragons, I think, is separate. I think that's the, like, maybe, like, the Quentin, and who was the sellsword he went to? What was
The
that guy's
Tattered
name?
Prince.
Thank you. I think that's, like, a Quentin Tattered Prince thing happening.
So have they been successful in, stealing a dragon?
And I think, but the one thing that I'm kind of like, maybe they, because you know how I was like, how do you get the dragon out? Even if you sneak in there to get the dragon. So maybe they got in there and, like, the dragons weren't listening to them, blah, 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 blah. Like, for their safety, they had to release the dragons rather than, like, ride away on a dragon.
Okay,
or
so
maybe that was always the plan.
So you think the dragons are, like,
dragon.
out, but they're not under, like, Quentin's control or anything?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
And I feel like the dragons are gonna, like, fly over to where Dany and Drogon are. And then they could come back together, or, like, I don't know. And then like, they all get back, and then Quentin and Tattered Prince are like, we did that for you, you're welcome.
Okay. So even though their plan didn't work out how they wanted, it'll still work out in their favor?
Yeah, because I think ultimately, it also stops the dragons from being murdered, which is part of, I think, why, like, because, this is, like, Quentin's big moment to show Dany what he's made of when she gets back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like I was able to save your dragons.
Cool.
But because it's Quentin, he wasn't able to command the dragons. He was just able to save them. So that kind of makes sense to me. And then, okay, let me see if I have anything else. I guess I'm wondering, I think that, you know how I keep trying to combine, because there's so many people trying to do so many different things, and I keep trying to combine people's plans, just so it's like, I also think it's more epic, though, like, if people are secretly working together and we just don't know it until it happens at the end. So I do think, though, that, like, obviously, like, I think that maybe Quentin and the Tattered Prince and whatever, like, maybe they got to, oh god, what's this guy's name? Who's Barristan working with? Skahaz.
Yeah.
So maybe Skahaz helped them or something, and that's why, maybe that's why he's not able to do his end of the deal with Barristan. Like, maybe he's kind of like, oh, I'll use Barristan, but then I'll go with them because I like their plan better, and it gets, like, I don't know.
So he's, like maybe doing two plans all at once.
Yeah, like, he's just taking what he can get from both, like, because I think he was like, oh yeah, Barristan would be the best way to defuse Hizdahr, like, Hizdahr's not gonna expect it, Barristan's gonna be let in, he's just an old man, whatever. So I think that maybe those things could be happening, like, concurrently. So
will Barristan be successful in taking power here?
I think so. Well, no. I think that it's gonna be like, no, I think he will. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
And are they going to do it the way, like, demand that the young Kish give up the hostages and leave? And then when they don't fight, is that how it's going to go, or?
I think that's how they're going to try and make it go. But I think also if the dragons don't, like, immediately fly away, like, we kind of have dragons to deal with. So maybe, like, I don't know if there's going to be time for negotiations. Like, I think everyone's going to try and use the dragons as, like, a distraction to be able to get their shit done.
So you think the dragons are going to fly away, right? You said they were going to head to, like, Daenerys and Drogon.
Yeah. Like, I think they'll probably do some damage trying to get away and stuff.
Right.
And, like, maybe they'll kill some youngish people for us and make it easier. And then we just got, like, Volantis to deal with. But I think, yeah, because I do think that, like, the dragons, but yeah, because I think all these people, like, it'll be like, and then this gives, what's his name? Skahaz a perfect cover too, because then he's like, Barristan, I had to do the thing. It was the perfect moment. But meanwhile, if he was involved in the dragon plan, maybe that was part of the plan. Like, I don't know, you know? So I think it's just like the fighting and the things are gonna ensue soon.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Shall we move on to next chapters?
Let's do it.
So we're reading 2 next time. Give me your hopes and predictions.
Okay. I think we're getting down to, like, final Bran chapter and final Jaime chapter.
Cool. Well, it's none of those.
Lovely.
We're reading chapters 68 and 69 next time.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 68 is The Dragon Tamer.
Okay. Let me cook. It's gonna... No, okay, wait. No, let me cook. It can't be Quentin. He can't get a personality glow up that soon. It could be Barristan. No, we literally just had Barristan a minute ago. There has to be at least one in between. Okay, It can't be Barristan. It could be Tyrion, like I'd hoped for.
But how?
But
I guess, like, the dragons fly out the walls and he all of a sudden gets into, like, dragon taming mode.
But yeah, that's the thing. Tyrion's kind of the only part here that I didn't predict. I didn't predict him being part of the puzzle, but he is with Brown Ben Plum. And like I said, like, I feel like Tyrion's got, like, the knowledge about the dragons. Brown Ben Plum's got maybe the blood, and you know how it's like the dragons trust him.
So you think this is Tyrion?
I think it's Tyrion, but wouldn't it be so funny if it was Quentin?
It's Quentin.
Really?
So what are we gonna see from Quentin?
Wow, that boy has a backbone. That's fun. I mean, dragon taming. I mean, I think it was, like, his responsibility to do the thing, and then he accidentally, like, let them go, and then now he has to try and get a hold of a dragon and get on a dragon, and maybe he's finally gonna have some personality.
So, like, he went to tame a dragon. He wasn't quite successful. The dragons got out, and he's gonna try again. That's...
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I don't think there's anything else we can predict on that.
I'm so proud of him. Look at how far he's come.
Yeah. So... yeah, I can't think of anything else to ask you to predict on. Like, yeah, chapter 69? Mm-hmm. Wait, I guess consequences of him doing this plot, maybe that's a prediction?
I think, like, more people die on the way of, like, either him leaving with the dragons or the dragons leaving, whatever. Like, I think it kind of, like,
but will, like, he have to answer to Barristan or something like that? Like, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Will
but then I think
the Tattered Prince, like, get kicked out of the Yunkish side? Like, you know, like, all of those, like...
I think he will. I think he'll just kind of, like, be like, that's... like, I think he'll just kind of turn cloak the Yunkish side. But everyone else is also turn cloaking the Yunkish side, so they don't really have time to hold everyone to account. So I think, yeah, the Tattered Prince is turning over. He's part of this plan with Quentin. And then, like,
what are the consequences for Quentin and his friends for doing this?
They get imprisoned because a bunch of people died because they did this. But the dragons got out, and that's what matters, and now Dany can come back and save him.
So you don't think he actually
Quentin's
got a dragon?
Quentin's gonna fly away on a dragon.
You don't think he actually got a dragon?
I don't think that he was able to tame the dragon and fly away on it, no.
Was he able to tame it but not fly away on it? Like, why do you say it that way?
I guess I'm having trouble reconciling him with the title of the chapter.
Okay.
So I guess I'm just like, maybe he, like, tried being, like, his job was the dragon tamer, but he didn't. Yeah, okay, you know what? He's gonna get away, but then now he has to go meet Dany and be like, hey, good news, I got your dragons out. Bad news, we gotta give this guy Pentos.
Okay.
Or I guess they could, so I think maybe that's kind of how it goes. I guess they could just fly to Pentos, but what's the fun in that? I want to see where Dany is, you know?
Right. I mean, the dragons don't know about the plan. They're not, they didn't sign on to we'll get you Pentos deal, like...
That's true. Yeah, that's why, yeah, it just makes more sense that we get to Dany first, and then Dany yells at Quentin and is like, you got more backbone than I thought, sir.
Cool.
You know?
Okay, so chapter 69 is Jon.
Oh my god. Okay, I am worried about this boy. What was he gonna do? He was gonna they were gonna send like a second rescue mission or something? Or like
I don't know if they were like he had just got news that things at
Hardhome were bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was thinking he'll send a second rescue mission, but he's got nobody to send a second rescue mission.
Yeah, I'll go look at the ending of that chapter and remind ourselves, but you keep thinking.
I'm kind of worried that this is the last John chapter, and he's kind of gonna end off in like a precarious situation. So I'm kind of worried about our boy.
Can you elaborate? Like, you're using such vague terms.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe like, hey, one horn, the others are coming, but John's in the dungeon to hear this.
Okay. So, a reminder about the last chapter. So, like, that was when all the people with Tormund came through, and it was like, okay, we did this successfully. We're gonna feast. But then he goes back to his room, and he's got this, like, terrible letter that's like, dead things on land, dead things in the water, shit's coming, you know?
Right. Okay, yeah.
And, like, please send help, basically.
Yeah, I think that an attack's gonna come, but people are gonna use the Hardhome stuff, and people are gonna use, like, some sort of fight's gonna break out with all the new people who've come through the wall and everything. So I think that, like, things are gonna go bad, and then, like, people are gonna take that as an excuse to be like, hey, John, maybe you shouldn't be in charge.
So he's gonna be, like, put in the dungeons, and then the chapter ends, he hears one horn, and he can't do anything about it because he's in the dungeons.
Exactly. And because we've kind of, it's very like, oh, okay, so we've ditched John. Have we ditched all the things John put in place? Contingency plans and like this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna work together.
Did he communicate said contingency plans to the people?
Oh wait, he totally didn't. Okay, so I guess we're all screwed.
Lovely. Winter is here. Blow the horns.
Winter is here and we are too busy fighting.
Amazing. Love that. So, I guess, folks, come back for that cheerful future thought.
What an enticing snapshot of our next few chapters.
Yeah. So, we're wrapping this up. Send us your emails. Follow us on Discord. No, wrong. Follow us on Instagram. Join us on Discord. Send us reviews. And until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.